We're starting now.
I guess so, yeah. Yeah, no. So, we're back for a second episode. Twice in as many weeks. We're committed to this more than the hockey thing. We've gotten some feedback from the first episode, and a lot of people are saying the original the whatever the last shit we did was just so bad because
Someone said it was bad.
No one said it was bad.
No. Just
that it was boring. And I, dude, like if I need to put myself to sleep, I just put on my own podcast at night, and it would knock me right out. Okay, I'm not gonna say it, but anyway,
you just did.
Anyway, yeah. So you know what? The first episode was well received. I had a couple friends. I know it's amazing to actually have friends. Who would have thought? They all were like, you know what? It was a pretty heavy conversation for.
That's what we do
for a pilot episode, but that's what we do, yo. That's just we're so basic and white, It's just like we're I don't know why I'm mentioning the race thing. Who knows? But anyway, so what are we talking about?
All right. So actually, before we get to our topic today,
yes, what are we doing?
No. I didn't. Anyway, that's later. Okay. So Kevin's right that we did get some feedback. Some of it was good. Some of it was anyway. There were some things, though, that I kind of wanted to address, and I can't believe I actually have to do this. I'm a little cheesed, Kevin. I'm a little cheesed.
Are your gears ground, Michael? Are you upset about something?
Something's a little. Something's troubling me, Kevin, and I'm not gonna refer to anyone by name because, quite frankly, they're gonna see this.
And I know who you're talking about anyway. So
I know. One of the comments was we have so many inside jokes, but believe me, if we did say,
what's so funny? The person, the person that they think that we're not addressing by name, it's not you. Like the person that we're actually addressing, you have no idea we're actually referring to you.
Unless it's an ex.
Anyway, yeah. That's who I was alluding to. Right?
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't.
Okay.
Anyway, okay. So, at no point in the last podcast did I say that I hated relationships or I didn't want to meet.
If anything, I was the one that was kind of saying, you know what, it's okay to be single. You got to be happy with yourself first before finding someone else.
And
so
I was like,
it's amazing that you've been the one getting like, oh, Michael hates relationships.
Which I found was so odd. I was just like, like you said, I was advocating for it, and I was the one that was like, well, I don't feel as fulfilled if I'm single. Like
you were the one that was kind of pushing for like, yo, I'm just. Your thing was, I'm just gonna let the universe find someone for me, and that was basically what you're saying. Not that you hate relationships, but rather you're just not gonna be so. It's not going to be so forced. You're not going to exactly, and that's the thing.
Right. So I don't understand how that came about. And you people that blew this out of proportion, you are the kinds of people. I'm going to get in trouble for this, but I don't care. It's my show. Oh, our show. Sorry.
It's our show.
Crass.
Yeah.
How crass. You're the kind of people that's what's wrong with this world. I mean, I know it's the second episode and I shouldn't be already taking jabs at people, but look, if I really wanted to say how I felt about relationships, then I would be like, okay, validated. But I was very careful because I was afraid that something like this would have happened, and I didn't think I was gonna. I think I stood the line really well. I walked along the line really well, and yet again, somehow, it's like you hate relationships. You don't want to be with anybody. Look,
maybe people just hate you. Maybe people just don't like you. I'm kidding. That was a joke. That was a joke.
I'm gonna need a minute.
Oh man.
Anyway,
yeah, pull yourself together.
Look, I was the one that was saying relationships sense of purpose, the intimate feelings that you have with someone and the breakthroughs.
Yeah, it makes life more fulfilling.
Now,
that's what you're saying.
And I've also been getting, Michael, maybe you should find someone. Look, I made a choice. I know what I'm giving up. Believe me, I understand. And I understand that if I do say I'm going to stay single, I'm losing the dream that I had that to make great, memorable life experiences with someone, to have a forever dance partner. I get that, but for me, I have reasons for my decision. I'm not going to get into it because, you know what, because then it's going to get too real and I'm not going to have my feelings plastered all over the
50
internet.
people to see. They don't want to know that.
100. Excuse me, 100.
Okay.
And believe me, I gave this a tremendous amount of thought. And also, I mean, they don't deserve it, but to protect, I guess, the integrity and of people that I've gone out with, I'm not going to say anything like that. So, I mean, they don't really deserve it, but for their sake, I'm not going to get into it because, as interesting as it is, not going to go there.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I really believe in love, and I will always say, fight for it before you give up. I always will. But at the same time, the emotionally clobbered thing, that still stands. And it is one of the pains in my life. That's something I believe so strongly about, I'm not going to pursue. Because you keep getting that feeling about being let down and kind of considering it to be failures. And I understand that, but again, it's my choice. I'm not going to get into specifics, but that's just me. Anybody else, go for it. All right? And again, I was the one that said I love weddings because it celebrates the emotional commitment and bond that you have.
Yeah, you're
with
talking
someone.
about the identity
Right.
that you embody.
Right,
Yeah.
and it wasn't because of an open bar and free booze.
That was my reason.
That was his reason, right? And so somehow I got to be the bad guy in all this, which whatever, fine, okay, but literally, just watch the episode because I had to watch our episode again 3 times to make sure. I was like, okay, well, did I? And actually, my brother was like, if anything, you showed too much restraint. He expected me to go off.
Well, that's
So-
what you're doing now, yeah.
No, I'm still not. I'm walking that line. But so today's topic, Kevin, what is it again?
Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh, great.
One of my least favorite Will Smith movies.
I never saw
Very
it.
overrated. No, it was okay.
Was it? Jaden was actually decent in that one.
But yeah, no. So you came to me with this idea that
Yes.
I mean, we live in a very. I feel we've always lived people have always lived in a materialistic society, at least in recent memory. People seem to be always never satisfied, and this is kind of going off what we were talking about last week in terms of relationships. With regards to you find someone that's perfect, you for the pursuit of happiness, you have a goal in mind of what you want, you pursue that, you attain it, and then you're not satisfied because we always want more. And that's, you know what, I think that just also kind of piggybacks off of your other point, which is complacency. And I think that with regards to dealing with pursuit of happiness, as an example, if you find something and then you don't look for something else and you're stagnant and you're just staying there, then that's not growing either. So, you wanted to talk about this because you're not happy. I mean, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I can't wait for next week when we talk about fat shaming. That's going to be great. But I think, shout out to next week. But I think that the reason why you want to talk about this was because, well, enlighten us, Michael. Why did you want to talk about this?
It was just a topic, man. Because you're not happy.
But yeah, no.
Okay.
You know what, man?
Hold on. Let me just regain myself here. Here's why I wanted to talk about it.
Here's why.
No, I have to.
Yo, Adrian.
Hey, that's not bad. That's pretty good. Good job. Why I wanted to talk about it. I don't remember much about my undergrad because, no offense to you guys who needs to be reminded, and I took English and there was this, I forget the name of the book. I was trying to remember. I was trying to go through whatever notes I had today, and I couldn't seem to find it. It would have been much better for this episode if I actually knew what it was. But it was talking about. Thank you.
There you are.
I was talking about the pursuit of happiness, and I always thought it was interesting because I really wish I knew what the story was. But in it, the author kind of talks about how the pursuit of happiness is twofold. It could be a circular thing where you keep trying to achieve happiness and never really getting it, or you have little steps of little feelings of happiness where you achieve something but then you want to achieve something else and then you want to achieve something else and you keep going and you're never fully truly happy, right? And that's kind of was something that I have thought about, and I have been out of university, well, undergrad, for 3 years now. So it's always been something that I've always had in the back of my mind, and I just wanted to bring it as a topic. In terms of me not being happy, we don't have enough time for that. But
that could be like a whole hour long conversation. Just the one where Michael vents. That's gonna be the title of that episode. But you know what? It's interesting. You were talking about how it's like you reach that happiness level, and then you want the next thing.
Right.
And
so one is never-ending cycle of fulfillment, and then it's levels, but you're never gonna get to an end goal, which I found was really interesting.
yeah. Now, why do you think that is, man? Why do you think people aren't satisfied when they?
I mean, that's a good question. Can you ever truly be happy? Nope, not gonna talk about that. Anyway, because you know what? Honestly, because we keep growing and we keep learning and we keep wanting. I mean, I think it speaks to us as human beings that we. I mean, for the most part, anyway, we don't want to get too complacent. There's always more that we want to achieve, which is good. And it's like, I mean, how do I say this without bragging?
Well, good luck with that.
Because I was going to talk about how, and it's kind of going to lead into our fashion. Yeah, actually, you know what? Hold on, I'll link it. So I was very heavy as a kid, as a teenager, and I had a specific goal for myself, and I'll get into it next week. A specific goal of weight that I wanted to lose. I reached that goal, but I was like, you know what? I could lose more. And I would strive towards that. And then I'm like, okay, so I lost another 10 pounds. Let's go for more. So where was I going with this?
You know what?
I just lost myself mid-sentence.
No, I think, I'm going to cut you off, man, because as riveting as a story that is, we can save that for next week.
Yeah.
I just wanted to go off what you were saying about how it's human nature to not want to settle.
Right.
That you don't want to be complacent and be comfortable in the same situation forever. I look at you as someone who has changed a lot, both physically and emotionally.
Thank you, man.
In the last 10 years that I've known you. On a friendly level.
I hope
Before
so.
you ignored me for being that ugly child.
Oh, come on.
Which we can talk about next week for sure. But
true.
no, but I think
It's not true.
and I look at I think most people can look at themselves and they can say, even from like a year ago, 6 months ago, even a month ago, people can say, I've changed as an individual. And certain aspirations change as well as we do. We are humans, as we were talking about, are fluid in terms of their psychology, and we are products of both our environment as well as biological determination through genetics. And I think that we take in so many different, we see so many different people, we admire so many different people. It blurs the line, sort of, what is our own happiness, what do we really want versus what we think we want based on what we see perpetuated through media and literature and everything else. So I think that happiness is never really attained, only because we always change as well.
That's true.
So I think that's partially why whenever we reach something, we kind of want something more, is because as we mature and we grow, our interests change, and what we think was enough a week ago isn't what isn't enough now, based on certain different things that change. I don't know.
Just talking about like celebrities, you think that celebrities, they have all the money in the world and they have it made, but you know what? They struggle, right? They have their own struggles behind the scenes. Like
Why do you think they want to be famous, man?
It helps a little bit.
Yeah.
It helps a little bit. But at the heart of it, you still have celebrities that aren't truly happy, and you go, I would kill people to have that kind of a life.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's not enough. And would you want to be a celebrity who's alone and lonely and not have anyone, or do you want to have your friends and family with you, but you're not as financially, the grass is always greener on the other side kind of deal?
The grass isn't always greener.
I said is?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. It isn't. Sorry, I gotta make that clear, because now I have to really watch what I say now, apparently.
In case, it's thrown back in your face at a later time. But no, you know what, man, you're absolutely right. Like, it does raise a good question. Like, do you would you rather be famous where everyone knows you,
But
but
no
you have
one-
no meaningful relationships
Right.
at all?
Yes, it's
or
all shallow.
Or would you rather have like friendships like you and I, and we're fucking nobodies? Like it's. I guess it depends. It's subjective. It's what the individual wants.
Right.
There is no answer, and that's why I like these conversations, because we can at least talk about it. Again, we're not saying this is why.
No.
It's just it's fun to just have these discussions because they're thought provoking.
There was a show. Oh God, what was it? It was. I think it was Smallville. Anyway, so it was. I think Lex Luthor and Clark were having a conversation about their dads and their legacies that they would leave on, and Lex was always jealous of the Karlarks, of the Kents being this well tight-knit family, whereas Lex is a billionaire, but he doesn't have those relationships. And he goes, Clark, when my father dies, kings and queens he doesn't know will come to his funeral, but when yours does, his friends will be there. And I always thought that was such an interesting thing, and it kind of wanted me to talk about this topic. Now, there are some ways that I think, and again, I kind of got this on the internet, so it's not completely my work. I'm self-aware, okay? I'm self-aware. All right, I know.
You'll acknowledge where you're ripping someone else's ideas off. No, that's good, man. That's good. If you're gonna plagiarize, at least acknowledge that you are.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I just
that's
forget
good.
the source. But there's ways that I saw that actually I kind of agree with of some parts. And you know what? Again, we all stumble as human beings in this pursuit of happiness. It's not. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon, and you take 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And I've fallen into the trap where I know the steps, but I sometimes struggle to adhere to them.
A lot of people do. Yeah,
Exactly.
It just happens.
So there are ways to kind of simplify how to be happy. One is to lose yourself in something that you're passionate about. It could be painting. It could be going to the gym. It could be rock climbing. Anyway, number two,
Rip. Damn it.
know what you want and commit to it. And that could be any goals that you have. Like let's just say the gym. Like I want to, lose 15 pounds. I want to gain 20 pounds of muscle. Commit to that. Like if you want to learn how to skydive, or you want to learn how to take, like a motorcycle lessons. You want to get your motorcycle license. Commit to that. Or, you know what? It's just, I want to be more positive in my day-to-day life.
Mm-hmm.
Find the positives and not focus so much on the negatives, I went to Tim Hortons today. I had a nice coffee. You know what? The line was a little long, but I got my coffee and I was able to go.
What you're saying right now requires constant work.
Yes. But again, the pursuit of happiness, I always found as a persistent search for it. Is that...
Oh, for sure. But then humans on the whole are relatively lazy. So, you know what? It's interesting when you're saying that the pursuit of happiness does require a lot of effort. When people will go to the gym in January for 2 weeks as a resolution. True. And then they fall off the wagon because I just can't be bothered anymore. They will go to Tim Hortons. They're like, you know what? I'm having a great day. Then a week later, they're like, oh, this fucking guy cut in front of me. It all just gets derailed. And because people just don't want to do the work.
It does.
And they don't want to. Alcoholics are always recovering because they're never recovered because they're constantly working at never falling off the wagon. And that's what people unfortunately do. It's pursuit of happiness is a constant thing. You can't just say that you've reached the summit and you're done. Because then you will always go back or there'll always be something else to fill a void.
Everything to improve yourself is work. We talked about how relationships will work. Improving yourself is work. And you know what? Talking about change, there's 2 types of people that I think have to get to that point where they have to change. One is something's like really bad and they've created a situation that they have to change for the better, or else they lose everything. The second one, not so much really to talk about, like dealing with what we talk about, like they've been hurt so many times that they have to.
Yeah.
We're focusing on the first one. People do change. When push comes to shove, people do change. But it is a constant work. If you want to improve on yourself, it's a constant thing. Believe me, I'm sure you have, right? I've been working on it.
Maybe you have, but I know I have. Fucking asshole.
No, I just...
Touch me.
Oh my God. personal you wanted to get. That's why I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
fine.
that was. I know you have, but I just was like, I'm trying not to be an asshole about it.
And you come across as one anyway.
I know.
You're
I can
fucked,
never
man.
win.
You never can.
Oh my god.
Always the victim. Wah! I love you, man.
Do you? Do you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay, because sometimes I feel like it dabbles a little bit.
No, man.
I keep so. What were we? Oh, so back to my
Constant work.
It's constant work.
Yeah.
Now,
Relationship building, all that stuff. Yeah.
another thing is to. Oh, man. Another thing that to simplify the way of the pursuit of happiness is to kind of guard yourself against people that are, I refer to as the dream squashers family, and to that.
He didn't hear that. He said family.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, worry about the rebuttal for that next week.
Oh, why do I talk?
I mean, I love my family. I don't know about you, but I can't speak for you. I don't want to know how personal you want to make it, but I love my family. Fuck. But yeah, no.
Are you okay?
No,
you seem triggered. You seem.
Oh no, I'm liking this. This is good. This is good. This is good, man. I love it. Shout out to Tree for the patented aggressive
They don't
dab.
know who that is.
Well, we do, and fucking shout out to you, man. You're awesome.
Oh my god.
Fuck, how much time we
I
have?
don't
left?
know.
We have 6 minutes. Okay.
Oh god. I'm not gonna get into that.
No. What else? What else do you want to say? The other reasons.
I'm gonna
why.
skip a couple. Focus on how you want to feel. Okay. Now I know fulfillment, that is a broad term. Happiness is a broad term.
But it's subjective.
Right,
So.
and you can take it step by step, in the sense that like in order to feel a bit better about myself, I can do this, and then lean into that, and whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Like incremental, like it's
yes,
just one thing at a time. Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for. Thank
Yeah.
you. Have a flexible and constructive perspective. Sometimes it's hard for people to have that, but you have to be also self-aware of yourself, as and,
for sure.
and how you're going about
Your
things.
limitations are this whole. I really hate it when people say your only limitation is your imagination, or you set your mind to anything, you can do it. You know what? You can't. You need to understand what your limitations are. You need to understand what you're good at. Find what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
And everything else is fine.
And now the last two, I didn't completely rip off the internet, but
Maybe.
those
we don't
are
know the
two.
source, so we'll just have to take your word for it. Yeah. What are they?
The last
TikTok.
I know. Don't compare yourself to others. Okay, everyone's different. Everybody's journey is different. We are all unique. So even if you are going for striving towards the same goal, it's completely different because situations are different.
People are different.
Exactly. So don't compare yourself to others, and don't let others try to compare you to other people.
No.
All right, you're your own person. All right. First,
I really want you to take your own advice.
I wish I
really want you to hear yourself and then actually do it.
I know.
Please tell me you're gonna do that.
I'll try. Last one. You're so triggered.
I'm not. This is good.
Okay, because you're turning as red as your hair right now.
Oh, it's like 1,000 degrees under this thermal regulated Blue Jay sweater. Shout out to my ex that got me this.
I'm not sure. Anyway, and number 8 or whatever number we're on, help others around you smile. All right, because
I really want you to do this. I really want you to take your own advice.
No,
Please.
I know.
Please.
I'm trying. Hey, am I not making you smile right now?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. My point exactly. Okay. Because when you lift other people's spirits, you lift yours as well.
You do.
Right, and that's why I love doing this, because it's so much fun. Mm-hmm. You can tell how much fun
Maybe you guys get enjoyment out of it. I mean, but just to your point, I don't fucking care. I get enjoyment out of this, and that's the important thing.
Okay.
We have a few minutes, yeah.
So basically, what have we come up with?
No, you know what? I think it's very important that the understanding that the pursuit of happiness, it might be attainable, it might not. Like we're saying, people change over time. People's expectations change over time. With regards to constant work, and people just don't either want to do that, or they do or they don't. That affects this pursuit of happiness. But like you're saying, just don't measure yourself against other people. Don't let other people measure you against someone else. Try to be positive. I think it's very important as well, and find what you're passionate about. Even if it doesn't make you money, I mean, it would help if it did, let's be honest. But if you can just look in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm more content with doing something that I love than what not necessarily make me a lot of money, then you know what, man? Like, if my kid was like, Dad, I want to be a fucking marching band drummer. I'm like, you know what, kid? Life is too short. I can say it's not going to make you a lot of money, but at the end of the day, do you care? Are you going to be happier doing this? I want you to be happy.
Don't let other people squash your dreams, all right? Don't let...
All right? Don't let you do that. All right?
Just don't let other people weigh you down.
Bozak just scored again? Fuck! Okay, we're sorry. I need to... now I'm triggered. Yeah.
Calm down. Stay with me on planet Earth here. As long as you can look at yourself in the mirror and go, you know what, I'm happy for who I am, and I'm happy about being me. It's hard for people. It's hard for people to do that, especially
it's
in
a lifelong thing, man. You can't just say, oh, I love myself now. I'm done. It takes constant work.
And it's never ending. It's a never ending story. It's a never ending battle. We're always wanting to achieve the next thing. And don't get too complacent. Just because you achieved one thing, you can always go and achieve more.
Exactly.
Right?
Don't just settle once you reach what you think is enough. You know what? Because it's not. We change. Things change over time. Right. And you know, as long as you're, like you're saying, if you keep working and you're not just content with complacency.
It's like a sports team who wins the championship. Well, they're going to want to go 2 in a row, so they're going to do whatever they can.
You're not just going to rest on your laurels. Once you reach the summit, you're not just going to be like, okay, we're done. Like, no, you're going to keep doing it over and over and over again. Like, once you win a championship, are you not going to ever compete for it again because you won it? No, you're always going to compete for it.
Absolutely. You see great athletes always wanting to get their next scoring title. Because
you're never just content with once you reach the point, you're always wanting more. And I think that's a good takeaway from today. Pursuit of happiness takes work. And you know what? Once you reach it, find something else.
Yeah. And I think that's a good way to end it.
That's a good way to end it.
I heard we have...
Yeah, shout out to Ruby. You know,
I was going to say.
Just look at that shit. Oh, that's for you, man.
I've been told that apparently in my arms... I'm not even going to get to it.
Yeah, and your ego's going to get more inflated. So shout out to Ruby. Thank you for putting up with me, especially. I know it's not easy. You know, anyone who knows me can attest to that. It's absolutely true. But no, you know what, guys? Thank you so much for watching episode 2. What was the thing?
I think we should do this, like life chats. It's like an L and a C.
Or it looks like
you
two
see
phones.
it on the C, on the other way. You know, whatever.
Life chats. No, but thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for next week. Should be a good one. All right, guys, take care. Peace.
I never doubt.